Hey guys, it's Kim from Coco and Bear. I'm doing something a little bit different today and I'm posting a video blog. My first one actually. I think I'll probably start doing some more since this is kind of a different way to get my message out and to get some information out. I'm doing something a little bit different today with topic-wise as well. I'm going to be talking about my experience with Proactiv. Acne, bit of a touchy subject, but it's something that I've been battling with for a long time, and I've recently gone through quite a bit with it, and I've flocked online to blogs and to videos, and they've really helped me. I found a bit of a great support network by viewing other people's videos and experiences. So I thought, what better than to use this platform to share my experiences and hopefully help others who may be in the same position that I was in. So my experience with Proactiv, I'll tell you a little bit about my background with acne. I didn't have acne when I was a teenager. I was very lucky. I had great skin. I didn't start breaking out until I was in university. In my early 20s, and I ordered Proactiv fairly early on, and I remember trying it. I think it was my second year of university, and it just, my skin was so red and so dry. The benzoyl peroxide was just really harsh. I have very, very sensitive skin, and so I ended up looking worse. So I stopped using it, and then I would try it again. And so I kind of went on and off it for a couple of years. And I finally started using it and stuck to it when I was, I want to say in my mid-20s, so 24, 25. And I've used it ever since. Up until this past May of 2013. I'm now 33. So I used it for quite a few years religiously. I mean, I definitely changed how I used it. I would sometimes more or less, but I was always using it. It was something I always used every day, and it traveled with me whenever I went away and that kind of thing. So it was my regular skincare routine. A lot's happened to me in the last year, and a lot of you who read my blog know about that. I recently was diagnosed as being lactose intolerant and gluten intolerant. So I've made great changes to my diet, and I feel wonderful. It's been a great life-changing experience. And along with those changes, my skin just glowed. I just looked, it was fabulous. Getting rid of milk and dairy especially has just been so great for my skin overall. And I think even getting rid of the gluten was positive as well for my skin. So I was sort of in this process and was trying to get rid of other things that I was eating and that I was surrounding myself with that probably weren't very good for me. And I had realized that Proactiv probably wasn't the best thing for my skin long term. I had seen a lot of reviews. I'd heard from a lot of people that although Proactiv for some was very effective for acne, it wasn't sort of the best thing to use long term, as it would age your skin. And I always found it very harsh on my skin. Even having used it for several years, I would still find that it would make my skin red. It would make my skin very dry. And I sort of wondered, gosh, I wonder if I stop using this, my skin might just be better. Maybe this really isn't helping at all. I can't say that Proactiv for me made me 100% acne free during those years, but it did a great job. I would get the odd bump from time to time around my period, as most people do. But for the most part, I really couldn't complain. I liked the product. It did its job for me. But again, I wasn't 100% clear. So I think that was another lingering thought in the back of my mind was, but I'm not even 100% clear on this product, so why am I torturing my skin with it? It's not even really working. I went to my naturopath and I sort of said, listen, I want to get off this, what kind of other products could I use? And so we came up with some other products that I could replace Proactiv with. And so in May, I made the catastrophic error of thinking that I could just swipe, I'm using my hand, swipe Proactiv off of my shelf in the bathroom and just replace it with another product with no problems. I was so naive. I'm a big researcher. It's my background as a profession, and I'm always researching and looking up information. And why I didn't look up information about getting off Proactiv before I did is beyond me. I don't know why I didn't. I think I was just in a different place and I was very confident and I just thought, I don't need it. Well, within the first week of being off Proactiv, I started to get a rash on my forehead. I had lots of little bumps. I was very itchy. I thought it was a reaction to the new products I was taking. It never clued into me that it had anything to do with my skin reacting to being off of Proactiv. This just continued on for almost a month. Worse to better, it would kind of go off and on. So I was trying different products as I was going on. I had some with salicylic acid, had some more natural based things, and nothing was really working. And as the time was going on, so from May to June to July, I was noticing that I was starting to get acne. So I was getting a little bumpy here and there, and then a little bit more. Come August, that's when it really started to hit me. The month of August, my skin just was transformed. I had acne by the end of the month, from my cheeks all the way through my chin and all over I was covered. It was worse than my worst day in my 20s before I even started Proactiv. It was the worst I'd ever seen. And I didn't know what to do. So I panicked and I went back on the Proactiv, which was also the worst thing I could have done because it just irritated my skin and made it worse. So I got my butt into my doctor's office in early September and told the doctor what I had done. And she immediately put me on a topical and told me to not go back on the Proactiv and just leave it alone. So I got rid of it. I've been since using a topical, and actually most recently I've also been taking minocycline, which is an oral pill. I think maybe I'll do a different video on my experiences with those products because that would take me another while to talk about. But I am doing much, much better. But I think what I wanted to do this video about was really just about do your research before you get off Proactiv. I think for a lot of us, Proactiv does work, and we use it for a long time, and I think sometimes it's a life sentence. When you start using it and it works for you, your skin becomes almost addicted to it, is what I've heard. And I definitely have experienced that. I think my skin was really addicted to that product. And when I stopped using it, my skin just blew up, worse than I could have ever imagined. So I think if you're thinking about getting off of Proactiv, if you've been using it for quite some time, what I would recommend, and I'm always going to preface by saying I'm not a dermatologist, I'm not a doctor, but what I've read and what I think just seems logical to me would be to do sort of a staggered approach. So I think if I could go back now, which I wish there was a time machine and I could, I probably would have done a staggered approach. So I was using it, 7 days a week. So I would have started to do, 6 days on, 1 day off, 6 days on, 1 day off, and just even see with 1 day off how that feels. And then, 5 days on, 2 days off, 5 days on, and just keep incrementing like that until you get to a place where you can almost wean yourself off. You may get to a place where you're realizing that you're getting some acne and you've got to, go back and increase your amount again. And I think that just goes to show how addicted your skin will be. So I would sort of just slowly get yourself off and test your skin without it in increments rather than just getting rid of the product. I think if I had done that, I would have seen either a gradual reduction and my skin would have just gotten used to it and I could have moved to something else, or I would have seen that there was no way of getting off of it and I would have probably just said, it's fine, I'll just stick with it. But I didn't do that. So that would be my recommendation, or go speak to your dermatologist or your doctor and see if they can sort of give you an alternative or something to kind of help combat that. I have seen videos and I've read testimonials and blogs of people who got off Proactiv with no problem at all. And I've read, unfortunately, very similar stories to myself of people that quit Proactiv and just had the battle of their life after that. So I just wanted to share my experience with that. I think I will do some further videos about my acne experience because I've got just stories galore. I am doing much, much better now, but the scars and just how hard it's been emotionally the past several months getting off Proactiv just are not worth it. I really wish that I had been more educated and I had thought a bit more about the power of this product before I got off of it. So I guess my lasting thought is, if you're on Proactiv and you want to get off, educate yourself, try weaning yourself off, or speak to your dermatologist. Don't just go cold turkey. You may not have the best experience. So thanks, guys. I hope that you'll post below if you've had some experiences. Would love to hear from you. And again, I think I'll try some more videos like this about my acne experience. I'll talk a little bit maybe about some of the products that I'm using now and how that's going. But would love to hear from you. So thanks.